Now we prioritize for the remote presenters who are from Singapore and from Beijing. So first of all, I could like to invite Mr. Vung Tau, Assistant Director of Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore, will present the study case of Singapore Maritime Single Window. Please.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Vung Tau from the Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore. Okay, I oversaw the development and implementation of Maritime Single Window for Singapore, and I'm glad to be here today to share with you the MSW that we have implemented for Singapore. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so let me give a little bit of context on the port clearance formalities for vessel arriving and departing Singapore. Singapore is one of the busiest ports in the world, and there are more than 300 vessels entering and leaving Singapore daily. Hence, it is very important to have an efficient system to handle these vessels daily. So, when ships call at the Port of Singapore, the shipmaster or the agents need to fulfill regulatory port entry and exit requirements with three authorities. Okay, first is the Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore, where the agents are required to submit the pre-arrival notification 24 hours before arriving, the General Declaration of Arrival and Departure, the crew and passenger list, and also the Dangerous Goods Declaration if applicable. Second, they are also required to submit the crew and passenger list to the Immigration and Checkpoint Authority for immigration clearance. And lastly, they are required to submit the Ship Sanitation Certificate Declaration and the Maritime Declaration of Health to the National Environment Agency, where the agency will check the validity of the ship sanitation cert. And each of the authority will process the application and then provide the clearance accordingly. So the agents have to work with 3 different authorities for each vessel. Furthermore, there could be more than one agent handle the same vessel. Example, the General Declaration and pre-arrival notification could be submitted by the charterer's agent, while the crew and passenger list is submitted by the owner's agent. So this makes the port clearance more complex, as the shipmaster will have to check with the multiple agents to ensure they have fulfilled all regulatory requirements before the ship arrives or enters Singapore or departs Singapore. Okay, next please. So as you can see, there are many challenges faced by the agents before implementing of the Maritime Single Window. There are many regulatory forms required for port clearance, and there are a total of 16 of them. And sometimes, agents may even forget to submit few of these forms, and this may result in delaying the vessel's arrival or departure. And in each of these forms, there are common data elements which the agent has to fill out repeatedly. Okay, example, the vessel details, the port codes, the voyage details, the crew and passenger list, etc. And each authority also impose different submission windows for each form. So the agent has to remember these timings by heart. And the authorities also have their own isolated platform and portal, and the agent has to log in each authority's portal and submit the form accordingly. And because each authority processes the application separately, the status of the application is only known by the applicant and not visible to other ports, other agents or port users. So these are the challenges that the agents are facing before. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so how do we tackle these challenges? Okay, to make it simple for the agent, we integrate all the statutory documents into a single submission process. Okay, we make it very clear on what are the forms to be submitted for arrival and what are the forms required for departure, and which of these forms is mandatory for every vessel, and which are the form that is optional or situational. For example, the dangerous good is only applicable for vessel carry dangerous good. We also harmonize the common data fields so that agent need not enter them again and again. Example, agent just need to submit the crew and passenger list once, and it will be available to the Maritime and Port Authority and the Immigration and Checkpoint Authority automatically. We also harmonize the submission timing as well. So to implement the integrated submission process, the authorities have to come together and streamline their processes and change some of the business rules. And new forms have to be developed under the Maritime Single Window Portal. With that, we will have a common digital platform for all port users, and the status of the application will be made more transparent to other port users as well. Yeah, next slide, please. So following the implementation of the new digital port clearance process under the digital port, where the port here stands for Portal for One-Stop Regulatory Transaction, which was implemented in September 2020. Okay, the shipmaster and agent now do not need to submit the common and repetitive information anymore, or to liaise separately with the three authorities for the port clearance application status anymore. Okay, it has reduced the administrative burden of the shipmaster for port calls and reporting formalities, which allow the shipmaster to focus then on their primary role of navigating their ships safely. Okay, digital port at Singapore is also a key component for our next generation digital infrastructure for our Tuas megaport. Okay, it will be interoperable with the global digital platform and also support our just-in-time operational concept at Tuas Port, which is under phase 2 of the digital port project. Okay, I will share some of these features in the next slide. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, ensuring the direct berthing of ship on arrival and on-time unberthing of ship for direct departure is critical to Singapore. As you know, we handle many ships. Okay, especially when we also have very limited sea space. Okay, we would like very much for the ship to finish their cargo operations and leave the port immediately so that we can handle other vessels. Okay, this is how we manage. We want to handle more vessels. Okay, we want to avoid the need for vessels to wait at the anchorage for other activities like bunkering at anchorage. Okay, by waiting in anchorage, it will incur extra costs on pilotage services and also on fuel costs, as the vessel has to burn more fuel. So under phase 2 development, digital port will be enhanced to a single integrated digital platform for the industry to facilitate the booking of marine services from the service providers. It will also provide just-in-time services from a port-centric approach for all stakeholders in the maritime value chain to facilitate direct berthing on arrivals and on-time departures to reduce the wait time at the anchorage, as well as to enhance the ship turnaround time by optimizing the planning and scheduling of the port resources efficiently. So with the improvement in efficiency and the shorter turnaround time, the carbon footprint generated by the ship will be reduced too. Digital Port SG will also enable the sharing of ship and port documents between port administrators and the maritime stakeholders, thereby facilitating data conversion in the global maritime transport value chain. The JIT service is now, we've started this pilot trial with the container vessels, and we will roll out fully to the industry by end of this year. Thereafter, we'll continue to roll out JIT service for other vessels Example, the bulk vessels and also the oil tankers. Okay, next please. Okay, so let me illustrate more on the GIT service and how it works. Oh, at a high level concept, the GIT is for agent to define the vessel itinerary, okay, specifying the services required by the vessel when it arrives Singapore. Example, the pilotage service, the towage service, whether the vessel need to take bunker or take supplies. Then the service provider will plan their resources according to the itinerary. Okay, so the whole process actually starts with the berth planning. Okay, agent will submit a berth application indicating the required berthing time. Right, the terminal operator will then plan and provide the estimated time of berthing, or we call it ETB, and the estimated time of unberthing, the ETU, for the vessels. And with this information, the agent can go ahead to book the pilotage service, if which is in Singapore is required to bring the vessel to the berth. Okay, and also to book the towage service to assist the vessel in berthing and unberthing, and to book bunker if required, and also the supplies as well. So this ETB and ETU of the vessels are being shared in the GIT platform to the participating service provider. Okay, they will plan their resources according to this timing. Example, when a vessel is doing loading and unloading of cargo at the terminals, the bunker provider could actually provide the bunker concurrently on the other side of the vessel. However, the bunker activity must complete before the ETU. Right? So when the vessel completes the cargo operation, the pilot is ready to take over the ships and bring the vessel out of that port. So as we all know, very often things do not happen according to the plan. So if there's any change to the plan, example, the change of ETB and ETU, okay, these changes will be broadcast to the participating service provider for them to adjust their plan accordingly. Okay, this system also provides an API for integration with the service provider's digital platform so that the planning process can be made more seamless. Okay, next please. Okay, this is the end of my presentation. I hope you find this presentation useful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bun Chiu. Very good presentation. And you will stay there, and after the next presentation, and the moderators will work together, and we will interact with our audience, okay? So as you know very well, the International Maritime Organization, or IMO, is a regulate that from next year, January, all the countries have to apply for maritime single window. At a lot of challenges that many countries cannot meet that time. Very difficult. So this is very good experience from Singapore Port Authority. Thank you very much. The next we would like to invite Mr. Lu Chan, Director of APEC Ports Service Study Centers. Will present experience from China, human resource practice for green port in China. Please.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm very happy today to have this opportunity to participate this excellent seminar. The central theme today is human resources development, and the topic given to me is a human resources development of green ports. It is very interesting and very timely topic, but as you may know, the green ports are still a relatively new concept in the lengthy evolution of the port industry. Although a handful of global pioneers have made commendable progress in the green development, but the majority of ports are still in their early stages. The APEC Port Services Network, as this is I'm working for, has been operating the Green Port Award System, in short, is a GPAS, for around 7 years. Over 30 ports, or the port operators in the Asia Pacific region, they have received the GPAS certificate. From their reports, we can see that all GPAS recipients, they place significant emphasis on the training for green technologies and green management. They always organize their staff to participate in a variety of training programs, whether launched by the regulatory bodies, industrial associations, or internally within their ports. However, our GPAS evaluation criteria, we lack specific guidelines regarding the human resources development, so making it difficult to comprehend how each port approaches the cultivation of green port human resources. Anyway, the human resources development shares many commonalities across different industries. So even though today I may not able to provide the focused recommendations for the green HR development, I would like to share our practices and experiences on the human resources management, and also with a case on the smart port HR development in China. Next slide, please. First of all, sorry, the previous one. Yeah, thank you. First of all, I would like to give you an overview, a framework of the HR development of our ministry. Our ministry places a strong emphasis on the talent cultivation. Since the reform and opening up in the early 1980s, we have established two concurrent systems for the talent development. One is the higher education and higher education system, and one is a vocational training system. For the higher education system, we have various universities and colleges, like the Dalian Maritime University, the Shanghai Maritime University, and the Wuhan University of Technology, and the 𝐃𝐒𝐈 University in Xiamen, and also the Chongqing Jiaotong University, or Tianjin Maritime College. Those universities and colleges, they offer specialized programs in the port operations, shaping, and seafarer training. The vocational training system, we provide the on-job professionals with a platform for the continuing education and potential career advancement. Additionally, the ministry, we have also set up a scientific research centers system. So far, in total, we have 26 research centers. They perform a dual role. One is undertaking the specific researches and nurturing the core scientific and technology talents through the research activities. Next slide, please. Yeah. And regarding the human resources development in the ports, I'd like to go from the talent recruit system, the training system, and also the performance evaluation incentive mechanism, just tiers. For the talent recruitment system, normally for the field workers, they from the recruitment for the operational roles occurs through two primary channels: the vocational schools and professional technical schools, or through the labor service companies. candidates for these positions generally they don't need higher academic qualifications. Instead, they need to have a relevant professional skills. They can begin work after a period of training. For the technical support staff, for these roles, normally we got them from professionals from the corresponding relevant colleges and universities. For the administration staff, normally these are university students. Also, for the middle level to the senior leadership positions within the group, the internal promotion is a preferred approach. Next slide, please. For the training system, major ports of China, we have set up internal education and training centers. Normally, they equipped with quite a lot of multimedia training facilities. And these centers, they can provide diverse training formats through both in-person classes and online platforms, ensuring their continuity of training via formal internal regulations. And the training programs are normally divided into two categories for the onboarding training and also in-service training. Next slide, please. For the operations and technical support staff, and also for the management staff, training normally for the management positions takes a more comprehensive approach. We focus on the areas like economies, the finance, business management, and also the corporate cultures. Regarding the performance evaluation and incentive mechanisms, for the performance evaluation mechanism, normally we go from organizational level and also at the individual level. For the organization level, the principal metrics are the business volume and the profit. However, the factors such as the social security, environmental protection, and the prevention of major accidents also are taken into account. For at the individual level, the performance goals are set according to the specific roles and responsibilities of the position. For leadership roles, the evaluation focuses on the achievements and thoroughly assessed aspects such as integrity, competence, diligence, performance, and also in the corruptibility. For the operations staff, evaluations are based on the piece rate or time-based work records. For the technical support personnel, evaluations are normally aligned with specific technical domains. Regarding the incentive mechanism, normally we go from the salary incentives, and also we provide promotion incentives. For the salaries, the primary model is a base salary plus performance bonuses. And for senior management, we follow an annual salary system, which linked to their department evaluations. And piece rate wage structures normally are applied to the staff engaged in the field operations. And some port operators, they have introduced the employee stock ownership, which can boost employees' loyalty and dedication to their roles. Regarding the promotion incentives, the employees' annual performance assessments are archived as references for promotion consideration. Normally, prior to the promotions, feedback is gathered from other employees to assess whether the candidate has a broad acceptance. Next slide, please. We also have the employee communication channels we provide. The one is the Workers' Congress system and employee proposals. The Workers' Congress serves as a key institution for employees to exercise their democratic management rights, and the port operators, they encourage elected employee representatives to make proposals that can address various operational challenges. Regarding the internal investigation, based on the operational needs, senior leadership, they often conduct on-site investigation to understand and resolve the challenges encountered in the operations. Of the leadership mailbox, certain companies, they have established a chairman's mailbox, which enabling the employees to voice their concerns and suggestions via email. Some companies, they have adopted a system where each senior leader is assigned a liaison within the young cadres, aiding the top management to keep abreast of grassroots realities with regular exchanges. For the cultivating the potential senior management within the company, prospective candidates, they are strategically rotated among different subsidiaries, which can help them understand the diverse business operations. Thus, they can develop a holistic view of the company's business landscape. Next slide, please. I do like to give you a case which is related to the human resources development for the Chinese ports on the ICT or information and technology development. You know, the technology change that makes the port workers increasingly valuable resources and require continuing investment in training and career development. We can see that 3 main tools used for developing human resources in Chinese ports, which include the specialist training, performance-related pay, and good channels of communication. These 3 approaches, they do not cost a lot of money, but they may require a change of mindset. A good starting point would be an increase in the status of human resources managers and a formal strategy for the human resource development and a personalized career development programs. And next slide, please. China is developing a significant advantage in the IT application, partly because we have a bunch of well-educated younger workers. At the very beginning, and also in the early 20s, the internationally available software mostly used during around major coastal ports along and also inland ports along Yangtze. But Chinese ports now, most of Chinese ports, they have developed their own softwares. Summarizing those experiences from the process of developing the IT technologies, human resources, we can see that we can, I would like to divide it into 3. The one One is at the beginning of the port IT infrastructure development. The most ports, they like a complete talent pool. It is needed for the port operators to integrate the IT talents scattered across various terminal companies or departments. Second one is our ports. We focused more on nurturing the versatile professionals who understand both the business management and also the information technology. They have upheld the philosophy of self-reliance in the IT system development, fostering their own teams for system development and maintenance. Number three is the major port operators. They have established a cooperative relationships with research institutions and forward-thinking enterprises, also include the academic institutions such as like Tsinghua University, Institute of Software, or Huawei, Alibaba, etc. By jointly building the laboratories and advancing the national level demonstration projects, they have facilitated the transfer of research fundings and innovation resources and capabilities to the port operators, accelerating the enhancement of their innovative abilities. And this picture is one of the container terminal of Ningbo Zhoushan Port, which has a capacity of around 10 million TEUs annually, which is supported by a software named NTOS, developed by the Ningbo Zhoushan Port. So it is quite efficiently. Next slide, please. This picture shows that this is a control office for the automatic container terminal in Qingdao Port. Currently, the Qingdao Port, they have developed their good high-level IT teams. They have also a national level technology center, and also they have post-doctoral research workstations. The IT team so far over 200 plus. Next slide, please. Oh, thank you. This is the end of my presentation. Thanks a lot for your attention. I welcome any questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lu Chen. As you know very well, that's the leading port in the world for automation and modernized and digitalization connectivities, leading from China port, from Shanghai, Qingdao, Xiamen, and Ningbo. That Mr. Lu Chen had taken some example, very good, that for the high level of human resource and how to do this. It's very important. So I think that you have remote location. It's far from us. We cannot present flower to two of you. So I would like to propose that all audience we give a very big applause for two speakers. Thank you very much for presenters. Nowadays, we prioritize for the Q&A session for the two speakers. I would like to invite Ms. Madame Huai from University of Transport of Ho Chi Minh City. Will be the moderators and will raise the questions and connect with the audience with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bùi Văn Quỳ, APA chairman. So for the first two presentations from distance, very interesting. I come to Mr. Vung Tau from Port Authority of Singapore. So according to Mr. Quỳ said before, we all know that from the 1st of January 2024, so it will be compulsory for the port around the world to operate maritime single window to for the electronic exchange of information for the ship on its arrival at the port, as well as their stay in the port. So I am sure that your topic is very hot for today, and many delegates in the hall want to raise you the question. So I will open the first question. I know that to apply the maritime single window, so we need a standardized platform, right? Nowadays, platform for different parties are various, and many enterprise are reluctant to change. So in your experience, how to make them agree on your standardized integration format?
Hi, okay. Thank you for the questions. So the questions here is about how we bring all the authorities' application together and standardize the format. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So during the development of the maritime single window, we actually follows the IMO format. Okay, under the IMO compendium, there are a few port clearance services, and they actually define the data element and the standards very clearly. So we actually adopt those standards when we integrate the process together. And how we get this, the other authorities to join us in implementing this single windows is that MPA is the lead of this project. Okay, so we are getting our immigrations authority and also the national environment agencies. We have many meetings, okay, to discuss what are the services to be parked under the maritime single window, and then we actually have many sessions to identify what are the data elements that we want to standardize according to the IMO format. And then we have to change the integration with their system, because they also have a system to process all this submission on their own. So the way to integrate with their system is to develop application programming interface, which is very common nowadays for integrate with other systems of different platforms. So we are using our API, which is the application programming interface, to integrate, and we are following with the IMO standards as much as we can. Yeah, that's how we implement that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And yeah, I think delegate here have any question? Okay, Mr. Key.
Mr. Bun Chiu Tong, this is a key from APA. As you probably know that in the term of 2023 and 2024, the APA decided that one objective is to push forward for Asian single windows. And you all know that 2024 is around the corner, and we assign among the APA member that Singapore, Brunei, and Malaysia will be in charge for that initiative. And it's quite interesting to see how far you go with your own initiative. Here in Vietnam, we have a similar national single windows, but a little bit different. And so we like to pick your brain and hear your advice. First, that here nation window hosted by the General Department of Customs. It's not from Vietnam Marine or port authorities. So a little bit of it's authority-centric portal. It should be port authority-centric portal. So what we lack here is a common digital platform to integrate a lot of stakeholders into a lively and workable platform. We don't have it here in Vietnam. And I'd like to hear more, and this is pass my word to Captain Charge, that in August in Pattaya, we'd like to hear more from Singapore about this, because this is when the working committee meeting, we would like to hear from that three countries, Malaysia, Brunei, and Malaysia about this. Two questions for you. One is that the portal developed by you or service providers? And the second question is that how we can share, how we can exchange with, to help us and help APM member to replicate your success story.
Okay. Okay, to answer that, so for those services that is provided by the authorities, so we have collaboration with all the authorities. So we actually redevelop those forms in the portal itself. Okay, so we redevelop those forms. So for other service providers, that is part of the whole the port community, we actually provide facilities for them to connect with the different windows. Example, the trade windows, right? The national trade platform or the trade windows. We are actually setting up a so-called single sign-on to another portal. So with the same login, they are able to access other windows as well. So this one way the single window is actually can link to other windows. So does that answer the questions?
The second question, can you share to us that how you can implement that, because we can learn from it. But right now we seem difficulty to introduce our colleague here from Vietnam Marine, because I think the way we see that it should be Vietnam Marine, all that's portal, and run with that, not custom. Anything you can share further on that?
You talk about the custom, the formalities?
No.
For custom, is it?
We talk about how to make the portal like that, the common digital platform like that, and to change from custom to port authorities.
Yeah, so actually for the Maritime Single Window, it actually focuses on the port clearance services itself. So there is actually, for other services, example, the trade services, there is other links. We actually provide a single sign-on to other portals. So to the agent, right, they actually log into our digital portal, one single portal, but there are links to other portals as well. They can do a transparent login or single sign-on to other portals. And this requires us to collaborate with the other service provider for us to set up this single sign-on with them.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I just received another question. How long does it take for Singapore to integrate system and apply marine single window?
Okay, we actually start the work in 2018. We implemented, it's about 1.5 years.
Yeah.
In 2019, we start to do the trial. Yeah, so it's about 1.5 years.
So for how long you can fully apply it?
Oh, it's already fully operational.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it actually rolled out in 2020. All the ships, it's mandatory for them to submit their clearance through the MSW from 2020. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, do you have any question for Mr. Bon Tau? Okay.
Hello. Good morning. My name is Dat from Vung Tau Group in Vietnam. We providing the equipment and solutions for the port operation in Vietnam. So I have one question, because the main target for the single window system is to reduce the waste of time and create what's so-called just-in-time criteria, right? So, to my understanding, that there should be a connection between the authority system interfacing with the port operators system as well. Do you have such kind of thing in mind and any timeline for that in Singapore or any idea for other countries as well?
Okay, I'm not too sure about other country, but for Singapore, I share about our JIT system and is currently on the pilot trial. This system actually, like I mentioned, it provides an application programming interface for integration with the other service provider. So in the current JIT system, it actually integrates with our terminal operator through API calls. That means when they plan a berth through their system, the berth planning records will be sent into this digital port automatically through the API. Okay, and then the service provider will then receive all this information if they subscribe to the API. Okay, all this information will be pushed down to the service provider. And all those service providers, if they can also update those activity timing into the digital port through the API as well. So it is all integrated together. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bon Chiu. Now we come with Mr. Lu Chiang from APEC Port. Okay. I think the topic about the human resource practice for green port is very important. So I received a few questions. The first question for you is that the port industry is changing really fast. There are so many new regulations, new policies, and new requirements each year. So how can we well prepare for our employees?
Yes, thank you. I say yes, with the changing of the context and also with the update for different policies, it is challenging for the port operators that to comply with any qualifications or requirements. The ports in China normally we do is provide a very updated training for any topics just related with your concern, like the different policies from both domestically and also internationally.
Okay, thank you. Your presentation also attract to young people from online. So I sent you another online question. Logistics and maritime is kind of unreally boring industry under the young generation eyes. How can you tackle this situation as an expert in human resource?
Sorry?
I repeat. Logistics and maritime is kind of a really boring industry under young generation eye. So how can you tackle this situation as an expert in human resource?
If I'm wrong, I understand that your question is related with a lack of appropriate labor for like seafarers, especially we are facing a challenging regarding to the human resources development of the inland shipping. Is this the question you are asking?
So how, I mean that you can explain something to motivate our young generation to join in maritime industry.
Yes, I'm sorry that I do not have a very good suggestions or solutions for this question. I can only say something about the experience we are experiencing. You know, with the economic development in China, you know, the other industries, they are the employees in the other industries, they are receiving good and also a better, even sometimes a better salaries compared with the shipping, maritime industry. You know, the seafarers, they, especially in the past 3 years during the COVID, the seafarers, they suffered quite a lot because of the travel limits. Yes, so the situation of the human resources regarding the maritime, regarding the inland shipping, it is sometimes it is difficult, but we try, the ministry and also the other organizations, we try to solve this challenge from two approaches. One is from the technology innovations, which can give the better, give the employees in this in the shipping and the maritime shipping a better environment and comfortable living, improve their comfortable living standards. Also, with increased salary, and this is one approach. Another one is to give the good training and also a good compared with other industries, a good returns to higher bonuses. So I think these two approaches so far may not ideal solutions, but with the conditions changing, it still solves some problems. Thank you.
Thank you very much for inspiring answer. So I think the time for this discussion is up. So now, please, Mr. Bùi Văn Quy, we continue with our presentation.
Okay, one more question for Mr. Bùn Chiu. According to Singapore Maritime and Port Association, that your experience and your success, can you share with us for our among ASEAN countries how to apply the successful, for example, who is the party to leading these projects for maritime single window? For example, in Vietnam, custom, they belong to the Ministry of Finance, and Ministry of Trade is for the trading, and Ministry of Transport for the maritime. So currently in Vietnam, the Ministry of Finance is the leading party for these projects. According to you, we need your advice. Who will be the best for the leading these projects? Thank you.
Okay. I believe different countries have organized differently in handling the vessels, whether it's for port clearance, it's for trade purposes. I think some of them, even one ministry have to handle everything. So I think it differs from country to country how they organize their ministries. But in the context of Singapore, as I shared, we have three authorities here that come together, which is led by the Maritime Port Authority, because it's a maritime single window. So Maritime Port Authority take the lead in implementing this project. So we are working with the various other stakeholders. Okay, actually there are many challenges when we are implementing this. One example is to streamline their processes when all system comes together. definitely there is a change to their processes. So it's the willingness of all these authorities to streamline their processes, which is a key success factor. Okay, so everyone have to be positive about the change and willing to change their process to make this project a success. And secondly, we have to engage our stakeholders, example, the shipping community, the shipping agents, the service providers, and all that. And we have to constantly engage them, okay, to understand their process and get them prepared for this change. Okay, so it also takes a while for them to get used to the new process. We all know that there's always user resistance in using a new system. But after they understand the benefit of the system, they kind of like it, and then they will stay on with the new system. So engaging the internal stakeholders and also the external stakeholders is very important. Yeah.
Thank you very much. All right, we big applause for two speakers from Singapore and from China. Thank you very much. And next, we could like to invite Mr. Vung Tau, is a project management of 𝐶MIT. 𝐶MIT is the joint venture port between VIMC of Vietnam and AP Moller Group. Is it a joint venture in deepwater port in 𝐾𝐈𝐿 area? You will present about how lean is deployed in the port operation, please.
Hello. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. How lean is deployed in port operation is the story that I'm so excited and I would like to share with you today. This is the story that 𝐾𝐈𝐿 International Terminal, or 𝐶MIT, is the living proof. And if you are new to lean, you could learn from our lessons, and it could save you many years in deploying lean as a port operator. And it's also beneficial for you as an individual if you could apply the same lean principle. But first, what is lean? People new to lean first look at lean as only tools and techniques to improve cost, safety, and efficiency. But lean is much more than that. Lean is something more about the principle below the surface. It's a system of thinking. It's a mindset. So what kind of lean principles and mindset are there? Well, today I will introduce you only two: continuous improvement. It's not only about lean tools to make improvement, but it's about mindset. That we could do it, that we are excited to do it, that each and everyone takes the ownership to make the improvement continually. How could we improve? We improve by eliminating waste and adding more value for the customer. We have lean tools to do that, such as 5S, visual management, standardized process, and problem solving. What is the key mindset that we apply when using these tools? It is focusing on improving the system, improving the processes, and not blaming people. So what could lean look like? Do you spot the difference between the two boarding paths? Do you see the gate? Which boarding path will help you to figure out where is your seat on the plane? People say a picture means 1,000 words, and airlines use the power of visual management to make an improvement on that. And that could remove the barrier of language and could help the passengers and the customer to read and to understand the information much easier and faster. So Lean is not about applying, not about using tools and techniques, but also applying Lean principles to make, to improve safety, efficiency, and cost. Imagine a very busy port full of containers and heavy equipments and ships, where every minute counts. That is the world of bulk operation. And this is where Lean has the potential to provide, to revolutionize the way we work, to bring exactly what is needed of a bulk operation: safety, efficiency, and cost. Now we have an idea about what Lean is and also how it is related to bulk operation. Let's explore the Lean culture, the Lean journey, that we have to see the different paths with different results. And also have you see that right here, you can make a choice that can save your years. So 12 years ago, we started, we applied Lean with tools-only approach. So let's see what happened. At this stage, we use Lean. We focus only, mainly on using tools with very limited participation from employees in making improvement. And only a small group of individuals would train the Lean tools. And when using Lean tools, we only use with very limited understanding of the Lean principles, leading to superficial adoption. Searching for improvement ideas and driving for improvement itself seems to be limited to continuous improvement department only. And finding improvement ideas is getting harder and harder. So the question is, now what? After all the low-hanging fruits are gone, right? And this is the story that turns out to be the story of many organizations when starting Lean. That many Lean gurus call this fake Lean deployment. So let's see what is the real Lean look like. In contrast with tools-only approach, real Lean focus on culture approach. So where we engage on employees, we with holistic deployment, we encourage personal development, not only using tools, but also apply Lean principles. And another part that is important, that is the key behavior of a Kaizen culture, of a Lean culture, that is Kaizen. It is the effort of each and everyone in the organization. So the lesson learned here: build Lean culture at the very beginning if you want to have sustainable results, as the theme of this seminar. Okay, so let's have a closer look at the culture and how Lean culture is built in CMIT. Culture is generally understood as beliefs, values, thinking, and how these influence the behavior. And in CMIT, we have Lean Academy to serve as a means, to serve as a first step to create a Lean culture. So we have three focuses on our Lean Academy. So the first one is mindset. The fundamental, the foundation in creating a Lean culture lies in cultivating the right mindset. So what are the key mindsets that we are embrace? Some examples. We encourage that we work smarter, not harder. And we solve the problem at the root, not blaming people. That we don't let perfect stand in the way of getting better, and that we invent ourselves again and again. So the second thing is about the tools. Equipping all employees with the right tools is crucial for implementing Lean effectively. So Lean tools in CMIT, in our Lean Academy, is very easy to use. It is for everyone. It's not just for a group of people or a group of experts. And the next one is about personal development or self-development. Self-development plays a vital role in building a Lean culture. We believe that everyone is unique and everyone has infinite potential. That the theme of this seminar is about human resources. That also shows the importance of this matter. So what is Lean Academy look like? We have classroom training. We have a lot of discussion and bootcamp to practice, and also we have celebrate our learning achievement, and also we have a lot of excitement, and we enjoy a lot together in our Lean Academy. So how is Lean seen in CMIT? As you remember that one of the key behavior of a Lean culture is doing Kaizen. So Kaizen activities are seen from both top-down and bottom-up in CMIT. As you can see that the Kaizen activities is growing from our front lines, 0 from 2021, 4 in 2022, and just 6 months in 2023, we had 12 Kaizens from our front lines. And that is the proof that Kaizen is for everyone at every level. So this is another point that I want to cover, Kaizen. The spirit of Kaizen is making small improvement by each and everyone and relentlessly. So since 2019, we have conducted 300 quantified Kaizen. They are on the Kaizen that has been verified and have tangible benefit. And among that 300 Kaizens, we have around 60 Kaizen to bring significant safety improvement. So here is one of the Kaizen from the management team relates to the RTG deployment that saved 8,800 hours running hour of RTG. And another Kaizen is from our front lines. He improves the work around his area, and it could help us to avoid $1,000. This is a Kaizen from our front lines. Last Friday, we reached 1,000 days LTI free. And last month, we break our records with both productivity, 233 moves per hour, and crane productivity, 42 moves per crane per hour. With our Lean journey in CMIT, with our Lean culture is getting more mature, we believe that Lean has a great impact to the significant results besides time saving and cost saving. A truly successful Lean transformation is not only about implementing tools and techniques, but it's also about transforming the thinking. It's not about one person, but it's about each and everyone in the organization. And that's going to happen without strong leadership. Leaders can make or break a Lean culture. And CMIT stories represent an example, a roadmap to excellence in support operation. That story cannot happen without CMIT leadership. And that is the secret that I would like to share with you today. And this is the most important thing that I say for last. Mr. Ki, our CEO, started our real lean journey in back in CMIT back in 2017. He's a visionary leader. He is always committed to lean, always support the lean culture and the lean journey. And those exceptional qualities is not only limited to our CEO, but is amongst the rest of the management team. In CMIT, lean is now becoming a way of working. And with that, I would like to invite you to join this adventure together with CMIT, and let's exchange the knowledge at the spirit of this seminar. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tong, very much for your presentation about the new definition of lean applying in the port operations. We are sharing the experience of each other. Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time for our break, tea break. You can take 15 minutes, and then we'll come back here at 10:20. So after this break time, 𝐂𝐕𝐄𝐿 will be the next presentation. Thank you.
Nằm ở phía nam Tổ quốc, cách thành phố Hồ Chí Minh khoảng 100 km về phía đông, có một thành phố biển xinh đẹp, hiền hòa, Vũng Tàu như một bài thơ êm dịu đọng lại trong lòng du khách sau mỗi lần ghé thăm. Nơi xứ biển mặn mòi ấy, có những ngư dân chân chất, hiền lành. Họ gắn bó đời mình với biển, góp phần làm nên hồn cốt của mảnh đất này và nuôi dạy con cái nên người.
The shore power systems and our automated mooring systems. So first, let's look at who 𝐒𝐈𝐀𝐍 is. 𝐒𝐈𝐀𝐍 is a leading clean tech company that designs and delivers connection and electrification solutions to enable the decarbonization of ports and industrial applications. Sorry. Yeah. Our company is divided into 3 divisions: ports and maritime, industrial applications, and services. As industry pioneers, our current technologies focus on 3 main product pillars. We look at automated mooring, shore power systems, and port electrification. And we have helped many ports worldwide achieve, to a certain extent, the greenification through electrification and through faster mooring solutions. So let's look at our shore power systems. Shore power systems enable the ships in port to connect to onshore power supplies, allowing the diesel generators to be switched off of ships. And what this helps ports achieve is to reduce port pollution and comply with international and domestic pollution regulations wherever applicable. To ensure that the ships can connect to all the ports, IEC, ISO, and the IEEE worked together and released the 80,005 standards to cover the HV and LV systems. 𝐒𝐈𝐀 systems are available in many ports and ships now. Now, let's talk about the standards driving the shore power designs. A major concern in the beginning of shore power implementation was related to the standardization and interoperability of the ships at port. The first standards that were released were back in 2012, and it was a joint creation by IEC, ISO, and the IEEE. Now, we are looking at 3 standards where 80,005-1 covers the high voltage shore power connection and is used in the designs for container shipping, cruise, bulk, and tankers. 80,005-2 covers the data communication for monitoring and control between ship and shore. When we are talking about smaller harbor craft, ferries, when you're talking about PSVs, then we look at the 80,005-3, which covers the low voltage shore connection systems. The supporting standards are related more towards the interfaces, which covers the plugs and socket outlets for the various applications. Now, these standards solved the major concern that a lot of the shipping community had, and that was related to the interoperability of their container ships when they go to various ports. The shore power systems reduce emissions at port. We compare the emissions from heavy MGO, 0.1% sulfur burned in situ on board ships, against the power that is generated to produce an equivalent power from the grid. And what we found out is that for the carbon dioxides, the nitrogen oxides, the sulfur dioxides, and the particulate matter reduces significantly. Now, many regions around the world have established their own rules and regulations for shore power systems. For example, California Air Resources Board, or CARB, established these rules and regulations back in 2014. China, they started in 2015 and they made it mandatory in this year. In Europe, you have the DAFI directive back in 2014, which is talking about the implementation of shore power in the 10T terminals by 2025. Our shipping line customers have started to inquire whether ports in this region also provide shore power facilities in ASEAN. And what we will do from 𝐃𝐈𝐿𝐷 is we will encourage and support the ASEAN Ports Association to join and set up rules and regulations for shore power in this region. Let's move to the next topic, which is related to the automated mooring systems, where we will cover the existing direction for port automation, an introduction to 𝐃𝐈𝐿𝐷's Moormaster system, and a summary of the benefits. As container volumes increase and container ships' sizes grow, ports are under enormous pressure to increase their capacity, increase berth length, and foster faster operational activities, all while safeguarding their profitability. A key element meeting these needs is automation. Now, automation has existed for many, many decades, and we see this in systems like automated stacking, RMG and STS cranes, AGVs, automated straddle carriers, cargo tracking systems, and so on. But we think that one tradition can still be improved. Most ports worldwide still subscribe to using mooring lines where you need quite a number of people to manage the ship mooring activities. We think that this manual mooring is quite unpredictable, it's dangerous, it's time-consuming. Now, depending on the port location, it also does not dampen the vessel motions, slowing down the loading and unloading activities, which directly affects operational efficiencies. With that, I would like to share a video to introduce the Moormaster system to the audience.
In today's era of autonomous vessels, automated container yards, AI, 5G, and electrification, why are we still mooring vessels in the same slow, dangerous, and unsustainable way? 𝐃𝐈𝐿𝐷's revolutionary vacuum mooring system, Moormaster, is changing all that by making mooring fast, clean, and safe. As the world's only proven and widely used vacuum mooring technology, MoorMaster has already transformed the operations of our customers at applications worldwide, including ferry, bulk, lock, ship-to-ship, and container handling. While conventional rope mooring takes from 5 minutes up to as much as an hour, MoorMaster gets the job done in as little as 30 seconds. And when it's time to sail, it releases the vessel in less than 15 seconds. This positively impacts the whole logistics chain, resulting in faster turnarounds, more vessel calls, reduced use of thrusters and tugs, reduced fuel costs, reduced emissions, and even reduced cruise speeds in transit to the next port, saving fuel and thereby reducing environmental impact. Crucially, MoorMaster is operated by a single person pushing a button from the quay, the bridge of the vessel, or any other remote location. With fewer people on the quay, safety is maximized. Unlike mooring lines, MoorMaster units only need to attach to the parallel sideboard of the vessel, so the vessel's bow can overhang the quay. This way, new infrastructure investments can be minimized or even avoided. MoorMaster's smart, patent-protected control system actively counteracts environmental forces, drastically reducing vessel motion, even in challenging situations caused by passing ships, waves, and wind. This increases loading effectiveness and product transfer windows. Improved vessel control is also a key enabler of further autonomy and automation, such as fully automated ship-to-shore cranes and e-vessel charging. It is, quite simply, an enabler of the future. Now, with the new generation MoorMaster, this unique vacuum mooring technology is making another step change for the industry. MoorMaster NXG is redesigned from the ground up to enable smarter installation, operation, and maintenance. The patented product has a sleek footprint to fit easily on virtually any berth with minimal civil works and existing fenders. MoorMaster from 𝐶𝐿𝐷. Every minute matters. Find out more at 𝐶𝐿𝐷.com.
Now, that video gives a very, very fantastic introduction into the 𝐶𝐿𝐷's automated mooring systems and how it helps you increase operational effectiveness, efficiencies at port. In summary, the system is designed to moor your ships within 30 seconds, and that improves the time that you have for loading or unloading, or it also helps the ships leave your ports faster, and that's what your customers are looking for. We use an active control system to enable vessel dampening, which ensures that the vessel motion is reduced to a significant level. Now, since you no longer need staff on the ground to moor using ropes, the system can be controlled from a remote location. For ports, usually they will operate this from the ground, but for smaller ferry terminals, they may operate this from the ferry itself. Now, if your terminal is small and with the challenge of increasing ship sizes, the MoorMaster system may help save on infrastructure investments in terms of lengthening your quay by adding a few more units of the MoorMaster system. Now, what this means is that for you as port operators, you will benefit with your customers on faster turnarounds for faster turnarounds. Your crane operators can achieve a higher box rate because of the vessel dampening. You reduce emissions because you release the tugboats earlier, as well as you shift from main gens to auxiliary gens faster on board the container ships or bulk ships. And you ensure a safer working environment for your workers. And with that, and the end of this presentation, please feel free to talk to me or to my team, Hyun Tae, our local partner, after the seminar. Chairman, I congratulate on the success of this seminar. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pavitra. Very new technologies. It could be applied in every terminal in the world in the near future. That I think that ASEAN Ports Association is a very rare terminal is applied for this, and many ports still looking for. And this is two for the sustainable development port that's applied this new technology. We can reduce a lot of emission, a lot of time, a lot of work, and very high efficiency. Thank you very much. And now we are going to see the solution to improve the port efficiency and productivities presented by Thai Authority, Port Authority of Thailand, by Mr. Vitawat Thanutpasa. This is the Assistant Directors of Division of the Port Authority. Please.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome today present on solution to improve port efficiency and productivity. In this section, we will explore various strategy and technology that can enhance port operation and drive greater success. Let's dive in. Okay. The port concludes the global trade and logistics, serving as gateway for goods movement and economic growth. However, the increased volume of cargo and growing complexity in supply chain have raised the need of improved efficiency and productivity within port operation. By enhancing these factors, port can reduce congestion, optimize reduce allocation, and ensure seamless cargo. Today, we will discuss some key solutions that can help achieve their goal. The next is the Advanced Terminal Management System. One of the foundation solutions for improved port efficiency in the implementation of Advanced Terminal Management System. This system integrates process and function within a port, enabling same line operation and enhance decision making. They provide real-time visibility into container movement, automate document process, and optimize berth schedule and facility communication. The real-time container tracking, efficiency, container inventory management, automate booking and documentation, and optimize cargo maintenance, enhance security and risk management. And now today we use automation and robotics. The use of automation and robotics in port operation has revolutionized the industry. Automated systems such as robotic crane and guide virtual offer a number advantages, include increased speed and accuracy, reduce labor requirement, and improve safety. The technology can efficiently handle container loading and unloading, storage, and transportation within the port. Yes, now the world in the AI power algorithm can automate tasks such as cargo tracking, and the document with machine learning algorithm continue learn from data to optimize operation. For the harness the power of the predict analytics, and AI can achieve higher efficiency and productivity level. AI current in the operation in port, the port of the Rotterdam is using a AI system called the Pronto, which use sensor data to improve the planning and coordination of the container loading and unloading. The Pronto system uses machine learning model to predict the arrival time and ship and the processing time of loading and unloading container. And the next port is Port Los Angeles. It uses the AI system called the Port Optimizer, which uses sensor data and conduct predictive analytics to improve the schedule and coordination of the container loading and unloading. And the next, the Port of Singapore is the Maritime Single Window. For the next is the infrastructure development. The development of port infrastructure is for improved efficiency and accommodating the growing demand of global trade. Port needs to invest in modernize their facility, include berth, storage area, and load and rail connection, upgrade infrastructure, enhance the port capacity to handle larger vessels, reduce congestion, and improve turnaround time. This slide is the Lam Chabang Port development of project phase 3 into the increase the capacity of the Lam Chabang Port to support the increased demand of international sea freight in the future by a construction berth for the support large cargo ship. And other facility include the development of the transport center railway cargo at the Lam Chabang Port to fix the problem traffic inside the harbor as well as the network and continuous transportation system that is required and necessary in the area of the Lam Chabang Port of Thailand to connect the outside sufficient and ready to support the expansion of the number of ships. Okay, the efficiency, the supply chain integration. Efficiency supply chain integration is the essential for seamless cargo movement and improve port performance. Ports must collaborate close with ship liner, freight forwarder, and other stakeholders to optimize process and share information. By streamlined supply chain operation, port can reduce due time, estimate bottleneck, and enhance overall efficiency. And for the next is the environmental sustainability. The classic model is include the port authority, terminal vessel, transport. If we change the process to use the environment-friendly technology, for example, purchase of energy from renewable source, gas mobility, electric hydrogen, electric for terminal operation port service, electric vessel hybrid and gas vessel and gas mobility electric. And workforce training and development, a skill and a complete workforce to essential for the achieve high level of the port efficiency and productivity. Port should invest in comprehensive training program for personnel to enhance their skill, knowledge, and adaptability. Training should cover areas such as the cargo handle, technique, terminal management system, and safety protocol, and customer service by develop as well training workforce. And port security and risk management. Port security in protect personal cargo and infrastructure from the threat. Implement security measure and risk management strategy. They include that deploy technology such as a CCTV surveillance, access control system, and cyber security. And for the next is the data driven decision making. Today, data driven world, port has access to vast amount of information. By harnessing this data efficiency, port can make informed decisions to optimize efficiency and productivity. Amazing data on container movement, vessel schedule, and port performance metrics. The container tracking and movement efficiency, container tracking and movement for port operation, real-time visibility into container movement, accurate inventory management, and efficiency tracking system and technology like the RFID and GPS tracking and Internet of Things sensor enable real-time monitoring. And the port performance metric and KPI measure of the monitoring port performance in the essential for continued improvement. Key performance KPIs such as vessel turnaround time, berth occupancy, and container dwell time provide insight into efficiency and productivity. By tracking their metric, port can identify areas for improvement, set targets, and measure progress. Success port use performance metric and KPI to drive operational excellence and deliver value at their stakeholder. Yes, and the smart port technology is a revolution in port operation, enabling a seamless connectivity, automation, and data-driven decision-making. Internet of Things, sensor, big data analysis, and cloud computing are some of the technology that the transformation smart technology improve the visibility, optimize resource allocation, and enhance security. Port that embrace the technology can gain a competitive edge and position themselves. Okay, we the learning from the best practice of the largest port in the world can provide a value insight of improved efficiency and productivity. Ports that have achieved remarkable results have often implement innovation strategy, lead technology, and collaborativity by adapt and apply a best practice. Their unique context, ports can identify opportunity and improvement efficiency solution. Now, in Thailand, implement the port community system. The port community system is the connect of the stakeholder overall, like the Singapore Maritime. Is implemented by the Port Authority. We will collaborate the shipper, forwarder, and trucking, warehouse, terminal, and the custom and Port Authority, carrier, and every all about the source process to the decision process. The benefit can when use the PCS. The benefit of the use PCS solution include the real-time tracking, normal calling, center of data information, intelligent dashboard, cost effectiveness, increase speed and efficiency, and reduce CO2. The modulate overview of the Thailand PCS is an overview of the module include the vessel, import, export, custom, container and cargo, inland, banking, and PCS intelligence. We we implement the overall of water logistics. Okay, this is example the PCS system, waste cycle module, and for the next is import and export, and the custom and the banking is collaborate in this system. And for Thailand, we do the hinterland for the connect the port. And container cargo display container and cargo movement activity, record container cargo movement activity, and inspect system for the dangerous goods inside the port. And the PCS intelligence is a dashboard and notification. And now we in the state of detailed design, but the complete state is about 2025. For the PCS in Thailand, use the core system is Singapore global partner. And key success factor of the system use the platform that has been success used that set up the working group, consistency of the stakeholder, obtain cooperation from stakeholder, and consider revise regulation, requirement, and release rule. Thank you. We hope our presentation will be helpful to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Vitawat from Port Authority of Thailand. So you see that we had just watched the experience from Thailand that's gathering all the high technology from the world and also applied for the system of PCS, that the port community system. That's the immersion of Thailand is on the road forward to build this system. If you are successful, you will share with us in the future in among ASEAN port communities. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last presentation come from Vietnam. We could like to invite Ms. Nguyen Trang from Human Resource Development Director of Saigon Newport Corporation. Will be presented the human resource management in sustainable development of the port.
Thank you, Mr. Quy, and good morning, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Trang Nguyen, and I come from Saigon Newport Corporation. And being a HR person myself, the topic that I am about to present today is on human resource management in sustainable port development. This is definitely a huge topic, and I don't have the ambition to cover all the related contents. What I am trying to do is just to raise some viewpoints that we have learned from the development process of the port system in Vietnam, with the case of Saigon Newport in particular, and from the observation that we have studied about the port system in the world. So this will be the outline of my presentation. Firstly, we will be talking about human resource in the port industry, what we are facing nowadays. Followed by the fact that we will try to picture our future port, what it would be like. Followed by the human resource requirement to serve that future port. And next, I will also give some suggestions on how we can prepare and manage our human resource for the sustainable port development. And at the end of my presentation, there will be some suggestions and a recap. So please stay with me, and I will go through this outline step by step. First of all, human resource in the port industry, what we are facing. Let me raise two facts. Fact number 1, change in the HR requirements. We have witnessed the constant change in human resource requirement due to the rapid development of new technology in the field and the very powerful application of those technology into our port and logistic industry in the recent years. And let me take Saigon Newport as one example. This was Saigon Newport 15 years ago, before we had the terminal operation system in place in 2008. And by that time, we have a big number of staff working on site, cycling around, holding an old-fashioned handheld, trying to do their job, which were mostly manual and heavy duty. The overall effectiveness was low, and the safety risk was high. But the good thing was, our staff did not need a lot of special skills or knowledge to do the job. And this is S&P in 2023. When we have the terminal operation system in place for container handling, we have the e-port and e-S&P serving as a platform of communication between the port and the customer and the partners. And we also have some kind of an ERP system for organizational management. So we have a lot less people working on site. They are mostly terminal truck drivers, crane drivers. We have almost erased our billing and documentation section, but we have more people working in the control tower, in the back office, in front of the computer screen, with a higher requirements in terms of skills and expertise. This slide shows the difference in terms of number. In 2008, we had 2,200 people handling 2 million TEUs. In 2023, we have 5,900 people handling almost 10 million TEUs. So for the same volume throughput, we have served up to 45, I think more than 45% in terms of the number of staff. The actual number is a lot higher because we are not only doing terminal operation now, we also do logistic and other services. And there was a shift from low skill to higher skill as well. In 2008, we have about 30% of our staff being university graduates. And this number in 2023 is 54%. That was quite a remarkable change. And moving towards the future, where we vision our smart ports, with the application of high technology and a higher degree of automation, the requirement in human resource will change even more drastically. There will be a lot less in number and a lot higher in the requirement. We don't know exactly this will be happening, but with the speed of technology development in recent years, I don't think it will be too long until we see the smart port visible. And we have to prepare for this. Fact number 2, labor shortage. We are generally in short of labor. In 2023 in the US, many big ports, including the Port of Los Angeles, the Port of Long Beach, the West Coast ports have to temporarily close due to the shortage of labor. In European countries, after the COVID-19, it was very difficult and challenging to recover the supply chain for the same reason. And in Asian countries where we are so proud of our big labor pool, it's still very difficult to find high skilled and experienced people in the port and logistic industry. And in Vietnam, it is estimated that the supply only meets up to 40% of the demand. That is, in terms of number. In terms of quality, it's even more questionable. So for those two facts, it is highly recommendable that we do not rely ourselves on the markets out there for our workforce, but we should prepare the human resource by ourselves to serve our future ports. Talking about our future ports, what it would be like, I think after the 5 presentations today, we also have some picture in mind of our future port would be like, to me, whichever model that we go for, the ultimate aim is to develop ports that are sustainable. Port sustainability is defined as the strategies and activities that a port undertakes to meet current and future needs of those who use it, while protecting and sustaining human and natural resources. So calling it sustainability because it aims the balance among the three factors: economic, social, and environmental. There is a long list of things that we can talk about port sustainability, but let me just mention two keywords. The first one is green. Why green? We all know that the port and logistics industry have significant impact on the environment, as the maritime transport accounts for more than 80% of the total world trade transport. Water pollutant, air pollutant, noise pollutant, sewage, we all have to take our responsibility. And secondly, we also directly affected by the climate change through the sea level rise, through the frequency of the severe weather conditions. And thirdly, if we go green, if we comply with the regulations and go for sustainability, it is likely that we will be attracting more the support from the customers, the partners, the communities, and investors. So it's not that we should, but we have to go green for the community's benefit and also for the sake of us own. In Vietnam, it has been made mandatory with the Vietnam Maritime Administration decision number 710, stated that all seaports in Vietnam shall mandatorily go green from 2023. That's the way to go. And the second keyword is smart. The smart port is generally referred to as an intelligent digital port that can operate autonomously via the self-configured, self-protective, more adaptive, more secure, more responsive, and highly connected port system. So with the involvement of intensive state-of-the-art technology like the Internet of Things, the cyber physical system, the man and machine interface, Smart Port also aims to not only maximizing our profits, but also to keep the balance of the environmental and social aspects. So it goes very well along with our sustainable development approach. This is a very interesting case about sustainable port development from the model of the Port of Vancouver in Canada. If we have time, we can come back to that. It's very interesting. So in our future port that is green and smart, what are the human requirements? Is there any differences in terms of human resource requirement compared to now? I think the difference is quite remarkable, but let me just pick two among the things that I think is the most important. The first one, we have to really plan and balance between the quantity versus quality of our workforce. There will definitely be less direct staff. Instead of 5 or 7 drivers working in the equipment like crane or the trucks, we may only need one technician working in the office room. Instead of a big group of tallyman and stevedore, we may only need one operator in the control tower. Instead of a big group of back office staff, we may only need a smaller group working mobile remotely at home or anywhere using the smart device. But we will have more of the higher skilled professionals, the one who help us to design, to operate, and to manage the system. And we will also have more manager level who have the technology know-how and know how to direct the company go in the right direction in the technology age. With new sets of skills and expertise, and our team will be very different. The second thing is the staff retention and engagement. It takes a long time for us to train our staff, so we want to keep them staying with us as long as possible. So a low turnover rate is preferable. And also we need our staff engagement and motivation to keep the effectiveness and the productivity of the whole system up. We will go into this a little bit further in later part of my presentation. This figure I got from a McKinsey report is basically show the trends, shifting from physical and manual skills more towards the social and emotional skills and technological skills. This is the vision till 2030. Okay, in this part of my presentation, I will be talking about what we can do, how we can do to prepare and manage our human resources. There'll be a lot of things that we have to do and we should do, but let's start with planning. The human resource plan usually goes after the port development plan because it depends on the model of port that we go for, whether it's feeder or deep sea port, whether it is fully automated or partially automated, whether it employs this technology or that technology. The development plan will be different and the human resource plan will be different too. So if your port already have in place a development plan, it's very advantageous for your HR people to start preparing the workforce. And about the planning method, I think we can employ the very simple yet effective method that is gap filling. We just identify our target group of people in terms of quality and quantity. We evaluate our current staff, current team, define the gap, and take measures to step by step bring our staff to the level that we want them to be. Gap filling, simple yet effective. The question is, if we don't have in place the port development plan, because this is not an easy decision for our strategic people to make, is there anything that we can prepare beforehand for our human resources? From my point of view, yes. There is one capability that will be needed in all models of our future port, that is the lifelong learning and continuous improvement capability. And in Saigon Newport, I think our top management is very well aware of this, and they have stated that developing S&P become a learning organization is one of our main targets for development. We do invest a big budget into training every year. We do have a training center, which is the joint venture between S&P and our partner, the SDC Group in the Netherlands. And we do have classrooms in our office. And as a person in charge of training myself, I'm very happy to see that our classroom lights are on almost every night and every weekend. So our staff are building a habit of continuous learning. They happily register and going to the class even though the courses are optional. And we are trying to keep it up. The second thing that we can do is to start build our workforce. We have already done that, but there are other options as well. We can do it by outsourcing or develop our own team from inside. I just list here some of the options. Hiring is one option. It is quite convenient, but not always effective because hiring usually applies for the high-skilled talents. They are not easy to find, and even if we found some, maybe they will not stay long with us because there will always be some mismatch in terms of working culture, in terms of salary. Contracting is more easier to manage, but this one usually applies to the low-skilled workers. And in our future port model, we don't need a lot of them. Redeployment is very interesting. We can do it by unbundling the tasks within the jobs and rebundling the tasks in a different way. We can shift the team. We can rewrite the working process. And the aim is to use to the max the capacity that our team already has. And this is very good for multitasking and very good for building an agile organization. But the most effective method that we found is retraining. Retraining is the same as filling the gap. So we give them the training program, we give them the knowledge and skills, and also the know-how to bring them from here to there when we want them to be. So we can do retraining in-house or public, we can do it domestic or overseas training, it can be in the classroom, e-learning, or on-the-job training. There should be a combination of all of those. Here is the list, just my suggestions of the new sets of skills and knowledge that we could consider to equip our staff to prepare for the future. The know-how of the operation of automated system, the digital proficiency, the soft skills like creativity, critical and system thinking, complex information processing, lifelong learning, and management skills as well, to build the organization towards sustainability and to build the agile organization for continuous improvement. Last but not least important is building company culture. This is very, very essential for staff retention and engagement. First, I would like to mention about communication. Communicate to our team so that they all have the same direction, the same sight with us. Bring our staff along with us in the journey. Let them know where we are heading to and how. And also communicate so they know that robotics and machines will only do the unstable job and we will be upskilled to do more interesting jobs. And that retraining them is the social responsibility of the company or of the organization. So that they have the trust, they have the will to go along with us. And secondly is the working environment. Firstly, it needs to be safe both physically and virtually. And also that is the working environment that provides the staff the opportunity to grow, the opportunity to shine, and the opportunity to promote, to get more promotions and the recognition that they deserve. Next is innovation. This links very well with the presentation about the lean approach. Yeah. So our staff, they're very, very talented and we need to try to maximize their capability. So any innovation that have to advance the company's sustainable development should get, they deserve incentives. And last, but I think also the most important is the compensation and benefits. People do not work for nothing. The market is competitive, so we have to build up a salary scheme and bonus scheme that is competitive enough, encouraging enough to keep our staff long-term with us. So the overall aim of building company culture is to provide our staff with not only income, but also the meaning, the purpose, and dignity. So the later part of my presentation, I would like to give some suggestions, firstly to the government and the port authority. A master plan for the country's port system development and logistic development. Although this is difficult, but I think this is very, very essential. And also establish a criteria and develop guidelines for green and sustainable port developments. We know the way to go, but we want to know how exactly that we have to reach. We can consult the guidelines like from the Eco-Ports initiative of the European Seaport Organization or the GPAS by APEC to establish a set of guidelines and criteria. Set favorable policy in tax and other incentives for ports that develop towards green and sustainability. Consider applying environmental charges to promote industry awareness and responsibility. Invest in the maritime single window. This one we already discussed quite a lot. This is essential to prepare for the smart port developments, I think. Introduce and encourage the use of renewable energy. We know that we have to and we should to, but we want them within our approach to use. Invest more on education and training programs in port and logistics sectors, and also especially the vocational training in this sector. It's very important. And there was a question about this during our discussion about the jobs in the port industry is boring, etc. And I think we need to make jobs at ports more attractive to people. We don't lack people, we just lack people in our industry. And especially attract more of the female workers. This picture my boss took when he visited the port of Busan last year. And that lady over there, she's operating the 7 cranes at the same time. So instead of 7 male crane drivers, we only need 1 female worker working there with a lot higher effectiveness and efficiency. So technological advancement has enabled more job opportunities for females to enter the field. So we should promote that. We should attract more female workers. They will do the job really, really well. And I also have some suggestions for the city with ports. I think the port city vision is very important. With the master plan of the city's port system developments, creative, the attractive working and living conditions for people, and also focus on university and training center. Not only the local university and training center, we can contact and work with big university to open the campus in the region. So we will attract more students, more participants, and later more workers to work in the ports. For APA, I also have 3 suggestions. First is, let's have more conferences and seminars like this. Bring all the members together, share the experience, updates on the new trends and the development direction, right? We all, along with each other, going in the same direction. We support each other. I think this is very, very important and very necessary. And secondly, we can cooperate to design and introduce and offer a training programs and study tours. I think many members of APA have your own training center, even university. We can cooperate to design the training programs, study tours, and that will be very helpful, and I think many members will be very much interested. And also more cooperation with the government universities to have building up the workforce to solve the problem with the labor shortage. Okay, so it comes almost to the end of my presentation. This is just a recap. So sustainable development is the way to go. Human resource plan goes after the development plan, but the lifelong learning, the culture of learning, if you have yet doing so, start as soon as possible. We have to solve the problem of quality versus quantity and staff retention and engagement in our future human resource requirements. And retraining and redeployment are the main action plans to build up the workforce. And culture takes a very, very crucial, very important role to keep the sustainable human resource for sustainable port development. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Ms. Trang from Saigon Newport Corporation. Really very long.